It is Saturday, and we're live.
Who are we? Who are you?
I am Coach Tanisha, and this is
Coach Chris, your leadership coach.
Yes, and we're here together to help you build and maintain a godly, strong marriage
or relationship.
Yes.
Whatever step of the process you're in.
That's right. Even if you're single and you're here, we're glad to see you. And you are in the best position because that means you're going to have this information up front.
Yeah.
Yes, up front.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Today, you're kind of going to get a sneak peek into a little section of our Strong Marriage virtual conference that's happening next Saturday.
We're talking about sex?
Woo! We're not talking about sex. No.
I like when we talk about sex.
We're not talking about sex.
Sex is good.
Sex is very good.
Sex is good. I like sex.
We're talking about communication.
I like turtles.
Common communication mistakes in marriage is what we're talking about today.
Communication. Well, not just marriage, relationships.
In relationships.
Those things that are stumbling blocks, the things that mess you up in a relationship.
Yes. The little foxes that spoil the vine.
You keep using that word, foxes and vines. What does a fox have to do with a vine?
Look it up. That's your homework. For all of you newbies and all of you who are not Bible scholars.
Foxes that spoil the vine.
Look that up.
Foxes climbing vines and stuff.
Yes. Foxes climbing.
Foxes doing with a vine.
So as a marriage coach and a leadership coach, we find that most couples' struggles center around communication. And we're going to talk about the most common communication mistakes in relationships. And then we'll give you tips on how to avoid them.
Now, a toolkit that you probably can create that you can use at home just to help with this relationship and to figure it out. So next time something happens, go back, look at this toolkit of how to correct it and how to make sure it works.
And guess what? If you are joining us next Saturday for the Strong Marriage Virtual Conference, you will have access to that toolkit for free.
Not all of them.
Not all of it's free, but
that's a $500 toolkit.
You're getting a section.
You'll get
a small section.
A $60 section. A $60 section.
A $60 section.
You're going to get a nice part of that toolkit for free that you'll be able to use and access to help with your relationship or your marriage or whatever stage you're on to help build it out.
To help build it out. That's
for
what
free.
For free. Okay, so make sure you get your tickets. Be sure to drop the links to registration and payment for the conference. You have until August 30th, that's next Friday, to register. Don't wait.
Plus, there'll be a live session, a question and answer that you'll be able to participate on for all our VIP members. That's included with the cost of the webinar. Conference, you'll be able to actually have a question answer that you can ask any questions. We have some really good teachers coming in. So any of those questions you want to know about sex, we will have somebody come in, a couple.
Oh yeah, we got a certified sexologist
that we'll be talking about questions about that. We also have we do dabble in a little bit of intimacy. Yes, as our
physical intimacy, spiritual intimacy.
Yes.
Emotional intimacy.
But let's go. Let's start these questions. Let's get going. I do not, all the people here, you have questions, go ahead and put the questions in. We'll go ahead and answer those questions on any one of the platforms. So 30 minutes. Let's go.
30 minutes. Let's go. Okay. So the first thing in effective communication is actively listening. So the first most common mistake that I see couples make in relationships is not actively listening.
You got to break it down.
Baby, what is actively listening?
That means paying attention to the person that you're with. That means when you're talking to somebody, is making eye contact. Number one thing is eye contact. When you have a relationship, you don't want the person that you're talking to looking around.
Or doing this.
Yeah. So this happens a lot at work when you're talking to somebody and they disrespect you, or you see it as disrespectful when they're not looking at you, they're talking about something else.
They're on their phone.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's also disrespectful at home.
Yes.
So leadership at home, leadership in marriage, leadership at work, all the same thing. If you disrespect somebody at work doing that, you're also disrespecting them at home doing the same exact thing. So how do you do active listening when you're talking? You see, I'm doing that.
Yes. So active listening is going to be just making sure that person that's talking understands that you are with them. You're on the same page. It is a type of intimacy where you are basically hanging on to every word that the person is saying. Right. So eye contact, body language is very important.
Leaning into the person when they're talking to you. Mm-hmm. Shaking your head up and down.
Your hand, letting them know that you're understanding. Maybe doing this to say, I have a clarifying question. When you have clarifying questions, the person who's talking realizes, hey, they're in this. We're on the same page, and we might have got off the page.
Let me see if I get this straight. You're saying what you're saying is
what I heard you say was
right,
and that's what active listening is. You are focusing on understanding where they are. You're trying to empathize. You're trying to put your feet into their shoes.
You don't put your shoes in my shoes. Although they would fit. Don't do that. No.
So you want to listen to understand, not listen to defend yourself or to get your response.
Right.
Even if you need to take notes, say, okay, I really want to focus on what you're saying. Let me take some notes.
And why do you take notes at home when you're talking to somebody? Mm-hmm. Because when you're in a meeting at work, what are you going to do? You're going to take notes.
So you don't forget.
Mm-hmm. Because it's important at work for you to get ahead.
Right.
It's important at home
for you to get ahead.
Or get ahead.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the solution is to practice active listening by focusing on your partner.
Focus.
You did it when you were first dating. When you first were infatuated with each other, you
did everything.
Listened. It was active listening.
Texting all the time.
So go back to it.
Well, you never should stop.
Yes.
And if you have stopped, start doing it again. Start doing the texting. Start doing text. Be consistent.
Be consistent.
So what is consistent? That means at least a little time, set a little time and start doing it bit by bit. 5 minutes. I'm going to text at this time. I'm going to text at this time. Every day, you're going to text just a little bit more, but you be consistent with what you're doing.
I'm thinking of you text, or I can't wait to get home to you text. Some type of connection with your partner.
That's right. That's right. Because there's nothing worse than coming home and there is no communication.
Ooh, yeah. That's bad.
And men feel that. That's why women don't communicate sometimes and do that cold shoulder.
Oh, that's not good.
So non-communication. What's number 2?
Number 2 is, we talked about this last week if you were with us, assumptions or mind reading. So
you're supposed to know what I'm thinking. You're supposed to know.
You won't. This is a great example. You are a woman who loves to receive flowers. It is kind of like your love language, but you haven't expressed that in a long time or lately or ever to your partner. So your partner is supposed to know that you like flowers because of that one time you said it or that one time you received the flowers. And now you want that to be an expectation.
Not to say we're not bright, but don't do that. Don't do that.
We are not God.
You have to tell us what we need. You tell us what you want. And no, we cannot assume it. Because you assume you're going to make an ass out of you and me, assume. So if you ever forget how to spell that, you have to be able to tell us what you want. Tell us the expectations that you have.
Right.
Don't let us assume, because men will always assume something else. We'll always write that story in our mind of what you're saying or what you believe, or you'll do the same thing. You'll write that story in your mind, build up a huge story about what happens.
And is not even related to what's going on to the situation. So that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to make assumptions. You don't want to act like you're God and you can read someone's mind. Even if you feel like, I know this person. No, you don't. You're not Jesus. Okay. So the mistake is expecting your partner to know that what you're thinking or feeling without expressing it. And the solution is to communicate those thoughts and feelings directly and clearly. Don't ever assume that your partner can read your mind, because they are not God.
Because what happens when you start assuming is okay, like we said, I assume what you said without clarifying it with you.
Right.
So now I'm going to go talk to somebody else about what you said.
Don't do that.
So now I'm talking to Bob or Pookie or Carol or Shannon to find out what you said. And I'm talking to her and I'm talking to him and I'm saying, hey, she told me this and I don't understand. What does it mean? What would you do? So
they're
now
going to give something else.
And now I'm writing this book, this whole book about you, without actually clarifying. So I done the first chapter, the second chapter, the third chapter, all of assumptions from other people telling me things.
Right. Without getting clarification from your partner, you've written a whole story and that story is all false.
All false. So now I've got this whole autobiography about you.
That has been unauthorized.
It's an unauthorized edition of Michael Jackson. It's an unauthorized edition of us. It's an unauthorized edition of you that I got from somebody else because I didn't clarify with you. I just went ahead and wrote this whole story up in my mind about what I thought that you said.
And that was a recap from last week's Strong Married episode.
Don't assume anything.
Don't assume.
Clarify.
That's a big one.
If you ever have anything, what is the worst thing that can happen about you trying to get clarification of what the person said? The worst thing that happen is the person doesn't understand what you're asking.
Yeah. Or get mad because
you're questioning them.
Ask the question and they feel like you didn't listen. But the best thing to do if that happens is to just inform that I want to make sure I'm getting this right. I don't want to assume anything.
No.
And that way you squash it all.
And don't be aggressive with it either.
Right.
Don't be aggressive. Just ask. Hold on one second. Let me just ask real quick. What did you mean when you said?
Right. Because I heard this. Is that what you mean?
So a tool to use with that is going to be what? Fishbowl.
Yes, that's a good tool.
What is a fishbowl? What kind of tool is a fishbowl?
The fishbowl method is an awesome tool to help you to effectively communicate. And
do I need to have a fishbowl?
No, you don't need to have a fishbowl. You just need to have something in your hands, and that lets everyone know that the person who's holding something is going to be the speaker, and the other person should be actively listening. If you need more information on that, if you'd like to see how that happens, if you're in Strong Marriage, there is a video right there for you with a couple actually demonstrating the fishbowl method. For the other audiences on YouTube and TikTok, if you would like to see that, go ahead and join Strong Marriage on Facebook. It's our private group, and there's all kinds of great free tools in there already, and articles and blogs and this and that. So jump on in and get those benefits. So
what's a fish? I still need to know what fishbowl means. So I'm holding something here. And what?
We don't have time to go through it, babe.
But the inquiring minds want to know.
I know. That's why they need to go to Strong Marriage to go get it.
So what I'm hearing you say is we need to hold off on what I want to do and continue with what the people want, because what I want to do isn't really relevant to what the overall goal of the situation or the message.
Well, that is not true. So let me amend my decision. So you like to know, and you would like to tell the people what the fishbowl method is.
Well, is that what you're hearing me say?
That's what I heard you say.
That would be correct then.
Okay. So the fishbowl method is when you grab an object, whether it's your big microphone or anything else. And the person who's holding the microphone is going to be the speaker. The other person is alerted by the object being held that they are the active listener. You're going to set a timer for about 2 to 3 minutes, and you're going to say what the issue is, how you felt about that issue, what you needed that you didn't receive, and a possible solution so the next time it won't happen again. And then the other person now has an opportunity after the timer has gone off to say, this is what I heard you say, and then regurgitate as much as they can. When the person with the object says, you got it, that's what I'm talking about, then the object is exchanged. And now the person who has the object gets to respond to what was said. And you keep doing that until you come to reconciliation. And that is the fishbowl method.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you explaining that to everybody here.
Okay. Y'all got it here. Y'all got it here.
All right. Let's go next one.
Number 3, the most common communication mistake that we see in relationships is
using negative language.
Ooh,
I hate when you do that.
Ooh, you always do that.
Man,
you don't ever.
Man.
Yes.
Your attitude stinks.
Using accusatory, critical, or harsh language during a conflict.
Your mama.
Oh, you cannot do those things because, I just made a post about this the other day on Instagram. You should follow me. I said that
Tanisha C.
Yes. Your words have power to either build up or tear down your partner.
Very much so.
If I'm saying
you stink, life and death.
Then it's going to be a
so if I always wake up and say the negative things about you, I'm feeding faith into that negative thing of you.
Right.
So if I say you're messy, if I say you're always late, if I say you can't get up on time, if I say you can't cook, if I say all these negative things, now I'm not building up you and your faith for what you do. I'm building the faith up for what I'm saying. And now you're starting to believe that. That's what happens that's why it's so important for kids to have a very important teacher in their lives. Because that teacher can feed into that student. That teacher can tell that student, oh, you're great. You can do this. You can solve that math problem.
Even if they're having problems.
Even if they're having problems. But if that kid believes that and they feel that they can do it, they're going to do it.
Right. And the same with us. That's in any situation, whether it's on the job or whether it's at home.
Right.
If you are constantly saying the things that are wrong, that's all you're going to see. You have what you say. So I know you might be thinking, well, we got to address those issues. Yes, there is a time to come to the complaint counter or the feedback loop. But that's not an everyday situation. No. That's not waking up and that's what I'm saying to you. You are to say what you want to see. You are to encourage and uplift and build.
Right. So I am a registered nurse. I am a former director, administrator in a hospital. So when I go to work and I see my staff, I don't start saying, you're always late. You never can do it. You can't start IVs. Why am I putting you on this side of here? You can't do that job. I need to put you back over here in triage because you can't do anything. That is wrong.
Yeah.
I need to give everybody an opportunity, just like when I used to be a football coach. Everybody can play. Not everybody can play every position, but you don't denigrate that person trying. You still give them a chance and the opportunity for them to see what is best for them, and you praise them all the way that they go.
Yeah, on the good they did.
On the good. The delta, that's called do the delta positive. Come up with whatever it is, but give them opportunities to make a change or to become better and to feed into the stuff that you know that they can do. It's just as easy for me to say that I love you, that you can do it, the positive affirmations.
Right.
It's just as easy for me to say that than to say that you are not anything that I thought I would get.
Ooh. What's the group on TikTok? Yes, that. Ladies, y'all need to do that one because that was some good stuff. So the solution is to use I statements. I felt this way. So
that is the tool. That's your tool for the toolkit.
And using the I statements helps you not to, point a finger and make your partner feel they have to defend themselves.
Right. Not to make them feel negative, but you're actually putting the illness on you.
Right.
And saying, I feel that when you did this, it made me.
Right.
This is how it made me feel.
I felt in this situation.
Not you.
Yeah.
Because the only person that can be changed is.
Right. Is me.
That's right.
So you can look again, of course, in the resources in Strong Marriage, where I go into detail on I statements and the wonderful tool that it is. Number 4. Ooh, this is big, and this is part of what we're going to discuss in our session next Saturday at the Strong Marriage Virtual Conference.
And this is one of the biggest things in leadership.
Ooh.
One of the biggest things when you're in leadership and dealing with is Avoiding the difficult conversations.
Yes.
Never avoid the difficult conversations.
Yeah.
It's because it builds up anxiety.
Ooh,
it builds up stress, resentment,
bitterness,
assumptions. Because he doesn't like me. He doesn't.
Yeah.
It feeds into that, and now you start writing that book. You start writing that book again.
That book is dangerous. Okay.
And when you have those difficult conversations, you put the other person at ease. Although you think it's like, oh, they're going to react. No, it's never what you think it is, because it's what you built up in your mind.
Right. Having that conversation, it does get everybody ease, because it's an opportunity to get on the same page, to stop wondering, to stop all the imaginary conversations in your head.
Yes.
It's for you to know exactly what is going on.
Yeah.
And how do we fix it? You know, if you're at work and you're getting an evaluation, you want to know, okay, they said I did this wrong, but how do I fix that? How do I, do good on my job? How do I do good in my marriage?
And the biggest thing is, like I said, leadership in marriage and leadership on the job, same thing. Mm-hmm. You don't want to tell the person what they need to do. You want that person to understand what they did and to come up with a solution to make themselves better. Right. Because if they can take ownership of it, accountability of it, then they can build themselves up.
Yeah. And that's important for us in intimate relationships. When you are at the complaint counter or the feedback loop and something comes up, an issue comes up, take accountability. That's part of being vulnerable and intimate in a relationship.
But only the accountability that's on you.
Yes.
Don't take the other person's accountability.
Right.
Don't take those slings for other people.
Takes two to tango.
Takes two. You're only accountable for what you did,
right,
not for the other person. So don't be an enabler.
Yes. Do not be an enabler. So the solution: address issues as they arise in a calm and respectful way.
Hey,
so
what happened?
What?
Oh, not you. Hey.
I was like, did we go offline? What happened?
Hey, let's talk about this. What happened? I saw you. You're having problems with keeping the finances. You're late on the bills. What happened?
Right.
Is there anything that I can do to help you with those?
Yeah.
Do you need more money? Do you need more? What do you need? Do you need to tell you?
How can I help you?
How can I help you? Same thing at work. What is it that you need for me to help you with so that you can be successful?
That's good. What is it that I can do to help you to be successful? And that's what you should be asking your significant other. I'm talking to myself. What is it that I can do to help you be successful?
For you to make me be successful, all you have to do is just listen. Listen to me and hear me when I talk.
Yes.
And talk to me on the same level.
Yes.
Don't talk down to me. Talk to me.
Yes.
Hey, get the hand off my leg. Stop that.
Sorry, we're on TV. Okay. Okay.
Video.
Number five. Bringing up past issues. This is a no. And in 2024, I feel like everybody should know this at this point. But I also, from conversations with other women, see how difficult it is.
Let stuff go.
Yeah. And that's only because if you are having issues letting stuff go, it's because you have not dealt with the issue. You did do number 4. Number 4, you have to address and have those difficult conversations. In that conversation, there should be some reconciliation. And when there's reconciliation, then you won't have past issues to bring back up, because you have created a solution, a boundary, something that would prevent that from happening again.
So you went out the other night and you did the same thing. I remember 3 years ago, you went out with Shavonda and y'all went to the park. And you didn't tell me about that, but y'all went out to the park and you were out until midnight, and you did the same thing the other time. So you're always going to do that same thing. So I'm tired of you keep doing the same thing over and over. That's bringing up past stuff that has nothing to do with, because you didn't handle it the first time.
Right. You did not handle staying out to midnight at the park with Shavonda. So now that when it happens again,
I don't even know what people do at the park.
Right?
The park closes
The park closes at sundown. But anyway. Yes. You cannot bring up those past issues. So the solution, you got to focus when you come to the complaint counter or feedback loop, you're focusing on one issue. And you're going to say, okay, the complaint counter is open, or I need to get into the feedback loop.
I need to talk to you. I need you to just talk to me. Tell me what am I doing wrong.
Well, we don't want to say that because no one wants to hear I'm doing something wrong.
What can I help? What can I improve on?
Yes. Here's an issue that I'm having. I need your help.
Yes.
And you talk about that issue and you get some type of reconciliation, as we said, but you focus on that one issue when you come.
Yes.
And if past issues are unresolved, you got to schedule a separate time to deal with that. If there's something you like, and this, no, pick one, your most urgent issue, pick that issue, address that issue, and get reconciliation.
It's like when people come to the hospital, I'm going to keep saying it. I keep saying the hospital because that's where I work. You know, when people come to the hospital and they have a complaint that they want to see the doctor about, and they come with, well, my foot hurt, my knee hurt, my back hurt, I got sciatica, I got my abdomen hurting, my kidney, I got kidney stone, my throat's sore, and then I got bad tooth over here.
Well, it's because I don't go to the doctor often enough.
But one complaint is all we're going to talk about.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be there all day.
You would be there all day.
What is the most pressing thing that we need to talk about right now?
Right. And when you keep it to that one and that most pressing thing, you can actually get something done. You can come to reconciliation
on that one thing.
On that one thing. Because if you try to do 5 things on your list that you just sick and tired about, well, number one, it was your fault for waiting till it got up to 5 and you got sick and tired about it. You cannot wait that long when you have a rift in your relationship.
Because it grows.
It grows.
It grows.
And it just allows you to become disconnected from one another. Come disconnected for too long, and you wake up thinking, why did I marry this person? I married the wrong person. And you got this whole
or the person over there sniffing on Susie Jane or something.
Oh, yes, because you know Susie Jane will come. The enemy does not like your marriage.
No,
okay?
They will always come for something that they feel is better.
Right.
So if you got a good marriage and you got a good man or woman, somebody's going to be over there looking.
They're coming.
Even if they're a bad one, they still going to come.
They still coming. They coming.
Right.
Okay.
They coming.
Number 6, stonewalling.
Stonewalling. That's a.
What is
that's
this?
One of those old-fashioned words.
Yeah.
Stonewalling.
So what is it? It's shutting down or withholding or the cold shoulder.
Yes, ignoring the person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to that person. They need to know what's wrong with me. They should know it already. I don't have to explain nothing to them.
You can't stonewall when it's time to have a difficult conversation.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I'm not in the mood.
Well, you have to give a time and a date for when you will be in the mood. You schedule when you're going to be in the mood and when this is going to be addressed.
And it's regardless. You have to talk.
Yeah,
it has to be one of the rules that you set. This date, this time, we're going to have that talk.
Right.
And we're going to be honest with each other.
Right.
And we're going to put things on the ground.
Exactly.
And we're going to go through it and talk about everything.
And that'll give you time to pray. So it is okay to say, at the moment, I don't want to talk. And here's another free tool for you. It's called the Marbles Method. And the Marbles Method is a scale from 1 to 5. 5 means I am super great and my emotions are intact. I'm ready to take on the world. And number 1 is if I can't take nothing, if a straw hit this nerve, I'm done.
Yeah.
And so you can just say, hey, how many marbles do you have? And you can know whether or not it's a good time for you to talk.
Yes.
If the person has 3 or more marbles, you can talk. Okay. And so have a conversation. So, but if your person says 1 or 2, okay, so let's schedule a time that we can address, we can come to the complaint counter or feedback loop or whatever you call your time in which you take to discuss issues and do a check-in in your relationship.
And just remember, the truth, although will set you free, also will get you in trouble. So do not try to use the truth as a weapon.
Right, as a weapon.
And because you know the nerves that you're going to hit.
Yes.
You know the nerves and what to say to make the other person set off.
Don't push buttons.
Don't push buttons.
Don't push buttons.
Don't use the truth as a weapon to try to get what you want. Right. You want resolution. You want to be able to get to the same point because you two are a team. It's you against the world.
Yes.
And you want to set it up that way, where it's you versus the world, because you're going to get so much more accomplished working together than working separate with two different goals.
Well, you can't. If you are committed to one another, you can't work together if you're not committed.
If you're not committed,
if you're not committed, that it's us against the world, you're not going to make it.
No.
Because things
you get there
are
for
a
little bit, everything's going to be successful. Everything can be for a little bit, but in time, you're two people who are apart, and then somebody else is going to come there and match up with your other person, with your man's goals or your woman's goals.
And you're going to be messed up.
And you're going to be mad.
Yeah.
Because you're not on the same page.
You're not on the same page. Ooh, this is a really good preview of what of our session from the Strong Marriage Virtual Conference.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go number 8.
And then we're on 7.
Oh, okay.
Overgeneralizing.
Overgeneralizing.
Using word like always or never. So we already hit on that.
Overgeneralizing.
You never can say always and never, because
it's never going to be always. It's never going to be never.
Yeah. We can. That's God. God always answers. God is never going to leave you, but everything else is an exaggeration.
So you're saying be specific about the behavior and what it is, and that each thing has its own time.
Yes.
Everything has its own time, its own thing. There's never an answer that's always going to be always. How's that? There's never an answer that's always going to be always.
Number 8. Failing to validate emotions. This is critical.
Don't dismiss nobody's emotions.
No one's emotions. And
everything is valid.
And yes, as Christians, we don't walk by how we feel. We walk by faith, but our emotions are there. They are from God. We address those emotions. We admit those emotions, but we do not allow those emotions to take over and to make our decisions.
But when you say, I feel that, I can't say, no, you don't.
Right. Or you shouldn't feel that way.
You're just making that up because you know what I want.
Silly.
No.
You cannot do that, because that diminishes that person. That's disrespectful. It is cruel. It is a horrible thing to tell someone they can't feel a certain way. They shouldn't feel a certain way, or you don't believe they feel a certain way. So the solution is to acknowledge and validate your partner's emotions. Let them know that you understand.
I hear what you're saying. I do hear. I'll work on that. I understand it.
Yeah, that you really empathize. Number 9.
Not providing feedback. And not telling the person exactly what it is and how it made you feel, or if it was successful or not successful.
Yeah, so holding stuff back, letting stuff pile up, not addressing the situation. So you can't keep selling about your needs and your expectations. You have to provide constructive feedback regularly, no matter what you call it. If you call it the complaint counter, if you call it the feedback loop, whatever you call it, monthly check-in, weekly check-in, whatever, you have to have it.
How about one thing would be that you both go on a diet and you decide, we're all going to be vegetarians in this house. And the other person's like, I don't want to do all that. You have to be able to hear his feedback or her feedback in your diet and what you're trying to do, because they might not be on the same page as doing it. Or you put that person on an allowance. They may not want to be on an allowance. But you have to be able to hear what that person's saying.
Right. It has to be a conversation.
It's sex.
Yes.
Sex.
They might not want to have sex every day.
They may not want to, but
you got to have a conversation.
You have to have a conversation about it.
And compromise. So we get all in our lesson for the session.
You may not want to go 5 days. You may want to go 3 days.
Right.
You may want to schedule a time where it's going to be, but you have to talk about it and get that understanding and get that feedback.
It came up because he keeps touching my leg.
I mean, she's touching my leg.
Number 10, defensiveness.
We're over our time.
We're over our time.
We have to go.
We have to go, and we enjoy being with you. So exciting. You see all the good stuff that you are going to get at the Strong Marriage Virtual Conference that's taking place virtually next Saturday, August 31st at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you have not gotten your tickets, make sure you get your tickets today.
Yeah, we'll make sure we put a QR code or whatever. So on my link right there, Chris Zaraya, on Tanisha's link, Tanisha C.
Yes, on Instagram, and you can find us on all the places.
Yes, Chris Zariah. Look for Chris Zariah. A whole lot of Zariahs up out there. I'll be me. But make sure you look for us. TikTok, we will be every Saturday at 1 o'clock from now on, except for next Saturday. But we may have something a little special for you. IG, same thing. Facebook, we're trying to make sure we're there every Saturday at 1 o'clock. To join us, be part of us, get your free toolkits.
Get your free toolkits.
Your lessons.
Use the toolkits.
Don't forget, next Saturday, August 31st.
There is no Strong Marriage Live because we'll be live in the virtual conference.
4 couples, 4 people teaching, 4 different groups. Each hour, new different group. We are the hosts. You have the Byers out of Louisville, Kentucky. You have the Townsends out of Arizona. Yep. You have the McKnights out of Arizona. Mm-hmm. They talk about that sex thing.
Sex.
And us. The Townsends are communication. Mm-hmm. The Byers are communication. And us are holistic leadership, marriage, and understanding the things that you need to do.
Yep. And as always, we're here to make sure that you know you can have the marriage of your dreams. You just need the tools to build it.
Now take on the day. Coach Chris, out.
Okay, Facebook.